I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. The topic of this newsletter is going to be, is she testing me or insulting me? Got an email here from a viewer, and he says, hey Coach, you've got some really great videos you put out. They're very helpful. My question is telling the difference between women who are into you and is testing you versus women who are just plain insulting you and playing you. Here's a couple recent examples. I went on a date with a girl and got us into a sold-out concert because I knew the venue manager. We're having a great time dancing and enjoying the show, and out of nowhere she says, you're a nerd, but I like you anyways. You always want to assume that the girl is messing with you and being playful, because if you get bent out of shape when a girl says something like that, it communicates that you're insecure about yourself and that you don't have a sense of humor and that you get butthurt over the littlest thing. And so just always assume that they're messing with you in a playful way and always come from that place, because this tells me that you're already worried too much about what the other woman thinks. And here's the thing, when you apply the stuff that I teach, you're going to get a lot of women, they're going to tell you, especially like really beautiful ones, they'll say things, because like every girl I've dated, like I had one girl that I dated, she won the Miss Figure. And I'm just an average guy, I'm not real big and bulky, but I am in good shape. And I remember her saying, she's like, you're not the kind of guy I would normally date. Usually the guys I date are really muscular and really built. And I took that as a compliment, because I'm not the type of guy that she thought she wanted, or that, I mean, all her boyfriends were like that prior to me. And I had another girlfriend that I dated, it was really fucking beautiful. And I remember her telling me, you're not the kind of guy I would normally be interested in. And because she always dated a certain type of, how should I say it, guys that were basically middle working class type dudes, that when I was a very successful, business oriented type of guy, and I was just not the type of dude that she normally would go out with. And I took that as a compliment. And you need to take those things in compliments, because what it means is, I mean, you're basically, the idea is that you want to get a chick that is kind of the type of woman that you currently think is out of your league. Oh, I'd never have a girl like that. And when you start dating women that are out of your league, when you start dating women that win beauty contests, or Miss this, or Miss Florida, or Miss Nebraska, or a Playboy model, when you date women like that, you're dating ultra beautiful, high quality, high status type of women. And that's a kind of woman, if you like those kind of girls, and you're attracted to those kind of women, I mean, it's your birthright to date women like that, but you got to have a lot of confidence, and you got to know what you're doing, and you got to know how to handle yourself, and you always want to have a better comeback. If you ever watch any of the James Bond movies with Daniel Craig in them, like the newer ones, he plays that part so well when it comes to women, because no matter, even when a chick feigns like she's pissed off, because women bluff to test your strength. They want to see what you're made of. And there was a part in a movie, Casino Royale, where he meets this girl in a parking lot and invites her to a drink. And he said, basically invites her back to his room. And she looks at him for a second while he's sitting there with this smirk on his face, this shit-eating grin, like he just said something that was kind of naughty and inappropriate. And she looks at him for about a second and a half with this look like almost like she's angry and like, how dare you ask me something like that. And he just sits there with a smirk on his face, like he's totally unfazed by it. And then she giggles and laughs, throws her head back and laughs, and then hops in his car, and they go back to his place and they have sex. And it's, in a way, it's like winning through intimidation. It's, in other words, it's like you put things out there and you say things that are sometimes a little outrageous, and you really don't fucking care what people think. And so the worst thing you can do is to get upset with a girl when she teases you, because all that's going to communicate is that you're insecure and deep down you don't think you're worthy of her. He says, but I didn't react internally, and it tweaked me, because it translated, you're not sexy, but I guess I like you anyways. The bottom line is she's with you, dude. And women are attracted to confidence more than they are looks. So she was actually paying you a compliment. He says, the rest of the date went great, and we ended up making out during the concert. Is this a test, or is she telling me how she really perceives me? It's both. She was being totally honest, but she said, even though you're kind of a nerd, you're not kind of like the guy I would normally go out with, I'm attracted to you, and that's what she's communicating to you. He says, the same girl, the second date, Oh, he says the same girl, the second time we were having sex, she just started screaming. She had a screaming orgasm on top of me, and she blurts out, "Wow, I'm surprised you can satisfy me." And then really quickly, "Oh, I didn't mean that in a bad way." I ignored her. And that's a great moment to tease her and just say, well, I get that a lot just because I'm so fucking amazing. I'm like that sleeper guy, the type of guy you think, it's not really that big a deal. And then once you get to know me, you realize what an awesome dude I am. And obviously you were screaming and you had a good time. And you just mess with her back. He says, I ignored her, flipped her over because I hadn't been satisfied yet. And I could tell that she knew how to get herself off on top. So it wasn't that she never came before. Yeah, women that are comfortable in their own body, the best position is them on top because it's the perfect place where all of the little nerve endings are to get the friction that she needs to get herself off quickly. And in my experience, women that have the best orgasms are women that are comfortable in their own bodies, and then when they get on top, they go absolutely fucking ape shit. He says, we dated for 5 months, and after that I got really positive compliments in the bedroom from her. But internally I translated it as she had really perceived me as not sexy and probably not good in bed, and just dating me anyway. You're psyching yourself out, dude. It's nonsense. He says, is this a test, or is she telling me how she really perceived me? Again, it's the same thing. Another compliment, and you should take it as a compliment, but internally you were internalizing as something to be insecure or fearful about. And when guys, see, that's the thing. It's like, even though you're fucking this girl, you're deep inside of her, and you just gave her a screaming orgasm, and even despite that, you're still thinking, oh, I'm not worthy. Think about that. Because that will affect how you talk. It will affect your body language, your physiology, the tone of your voice, and it will also affect the things that you say. And so you should always act as, it's like what I always say is that act as if all women want you. Now, it's not necessarily always going to be the case. More often than not, it's not going to be the case. But if you act as if all women want you, and then when you find out that they're really not that into you, you walk away with the attitude of, hey, it's her loss. That's the best place to come from. Because otherwise, if you keep thinking the way you're thinking, you're going to screw up with girls that you really had a chance with because just of what's all the limiting beliefs that are running around in your head. He says, this relationship went on for 5 months and ended because she just wanted to hang out and not even call herself my girlfriend. And I'd say you weren't doing enough things right to get her to fall in love with you. That's what I would say, and that's why it's important that you read and get to know everything in my book. Because if you're doing everything right with a girl and you've been dating her and fucking her brains out for 5 months and she's not head over heels in love with you and doesn't want to be exclusive with you, then there's things that you're doing and saying that are communicating that you're not worthy. And it sounds like she was the one that eventually dumped you. He says, another girl that I met in dance class, we were flirting for a while and she ended up sending me a card with a picture of a pinup girl in it telling me she liked me. I asked her out and she ignored me. I backed off, and a while later she sent me another card with a pinup girl as a Christmas card. I asked her out again, and she said she had a boyfriend. A week later, I even asked her out again, only to get ignored again, so I chalked her up to a tease. A while later, we were out at a dance event. We were all posing at a dinner table for a group photo, and she put her hand on my inner thigh. During this event, I had been flirting with other women. She visibly got upset and jealous, but by this time I was so turned off by her games, I ignored her. What do you think was going on here? And I would say, overall, just from these couple of scenarios that you've shared with me, what's going on is you're doing and saying things on your dates with these women or when you're interacting with them that is communicating weakness, is communicating that you don't feel you're worthy and you deserve to be with them. And I picked up on that by the fact that you're automatically assuming that you're not good enough when they're just simply teasing you. And so there's probably other little things that you're saying where your reaction is communicating that you're insecure about yourself. And when you do that, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to totally screw things up. And some women just like the attention. She probably figured that you weren't confident enough to have her, but it was obvious that you were into her, and she just liked the attention. Some women are like that. But she didn't like you enough to want to actually go out with you and spend time with you. But the fact that she sat down and she started rubbing your inner thigh, that's when you say something. If she's sitting in your lap, you just say, I think you need to fucking get it over with and kiss me right now. And if she says, I'm not going to kiss you, and it's like, why? Because you were a lousy fucking kisser? Is that why? And then see what she says. If she says, I'm just not going to kiss you, and then you just get up and just say, get up. And then you grab her hand, you turn around, you spank her in the ass and say, you're a brat. He's like, you can sit in my lap when you're ready to kiss me. Otherwise, I'm putting you in timeout for now. And just say that. And she'll either come over and kiss you or she'll go off and you can continue flirting with the other girls that were flirting with you that evening. But what's happening is I can tell just from what you shared with me that there are little subtle things that you're doing and you're saying and that's affecting your body language and the tone of your voice that's communicating that you don't think you're worthy. And when you communicate to a woman that you don't feel like you deserve them and you don't feel worthy, they have no choice but to agree with you. Think about that. I mean, you're completely psyching yourself out unnecessarily here with women that you got a chance with. So if you have a question you want to ask me or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions, your situation, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which is at the top of your screen. Just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, go to my website. And on the right-hand side, underneath the email sign-up box, is a link that will take you to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. And if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side, there's a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your tablet, your smartphone, or your computer. And if you appreciate the value of the information in my videos and articles that are on my website, you can show your appreciation by going to my website and on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information that you have received from me. And I will talk to you soon.